What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. It is the 20th day of August, and you're up, man. You're up a good 18% this week. That's awesome. Good for you. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. There's a few things that I want to talk about. Interesting things that I want to talk about Zebec right now. And I just want to, shoot from the hip right out the start. Let's just say everything right now is different. Everything right now is different. Okay. Calling for Zebec to go to new all-time lows, being in a bear market, moving down, all this stuff, that made sense before Bitcoin did what it's done over the past 2 days. It still could make sense. We've seen plenty of times where altcoins that see tremendous results in the bull market have gone lower even after Bitcoin finds its low. I'm not here to say that the low is in for the Bitcoin bear market. We very well could go lower. This could be some type of trap. There's some decent volume backing it up, but on a weekly basis, it's still not that significant. It is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. It's hard to say. We won't know probably for a month or so before things kind of settle. We can figure ourselves, see if we're going to move higher, if Bitcoin's actually in a bull market or not, or at the very least if the bear market's over. I would go as far to say that even the bull market hasn't officially started. It's just that the bear market may be over. We might be in a crab market where eventually the bull market starts sometime next year, something like that. But enough about Bitcoin. We're here to talk about Zebec. Everything changes. Zebec can move lower even if Bitcoin's found its bear market low. But is it going to drop 60% lower if Bitcoin's found its bear market low? I have a hard time believing that. If Bitcoin hasn't found its bear market low, if even after a move up like this, we see something that does inevitably take us back down below 50K, okay, then I could see Zebec going to new all-time lows. Yes, that makes sense. That was the logic here, was that we'd go down. Right? It makes sense if we go down from here, but the logic, in my opinion, right now kind of goes out the window that we'd go down to these levels. It's still possible. I'm at like a 50-50 in my head as far as is the bear market over or is it not? There's plenty of headwinds, plenty of resistance to find for Bitcoin. There's plenty of reasons for us to go down, but damn it if it isn't convincing right now. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm perplexed. In that perplexity, Zebec here is having a good time. Not a whole lot of volume, still sub-average volume on a weekly basis. We look at the daily time frame, volume's coming in a little bit. And if we look at the daily time frame, you can see here there is a little bit of a cluster of volume that is a bit above average, isn't it? Consistently above average compared to what we've seen here. And this all seemed to happen right around these low points here. Okay. If Zebec were done with its bear market, if it was done, first and foremost, let me just say bravo. It's very abnormal to see something that's less than an 80% drop in your first bear market. It's very abnormal. Okay. That just shows strength. Okay. Secondly, it makes a little bit of sense that this could be a macro ending area. You're at prior very significant areas of resistance. You've got this double bottom kind of look, a bullish engulfing candle to finish your crab market sidewaysness here. You've got this Eve and Adam setup, or it could be an Eve and Eve setup, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't be talking like this. I wouldn't be thinking like this if, for one, I didn't mean it. And then for two, if it wasn't for Bitcoin doing this. If it wasn't for not just Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's not the only thing that matters in this crypto space. It's probably the thing that matters most. But Ethereum's up 24%. I mean, it's hard to look at this and think that we're in a bear market, right? When we were moving up with Ethereum, okay, you moved up like this, that's fine, that's cute, whatever. But the bear market moves, look at that, right? You don't move like this in a bear market. You move like this in a bull market. You move like this in a bull market. You don't see this stuff in a bear market, you guys. It can happen. This can happen and we can still go lower. It can happen. It's awful when it does happen. It throws everybody off. We've seen big movements before, but even here during this big movement in 1 week, we didn't move up like this, man. Something's going on. And again, I'm not full gung ho bull market bull tard mode right now, but I'm definitely rethinking everything as far as being in a bear market goes. As far as my whole thesis of bottoming August, September, October, um, it's definitely different. If we are still in a bear market, if we do have lower to go, the lows get pushed back tremendously time wise from here. Instead of August, September, October, I'm thinking October, November, December, maybe even January, February, March. We could have a prolonged bear market. If this isn't enough to start the bull run, or at the very least to end the bear market, um, we're gonna have more time before, like, it's maybe not much of a price difference, but a time difference as far as how this stuff develops. Anyways, getting back to Zebec, enough talking about crypto market macro dynamics. I'm sure you're getting enough of that from plenty of other YouTube channels, or even on X right now. Everybody's talking about it, right? Everybody's going over their theories. I want to keep this as Zebec specified as I can, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overlay as far as where my thoughts are, where they're coming from, why I'm thinking this way. And again, entertaining the thought that you could be done, entertaining the thought, first off, that you don't go to new all-time lows, that this could be a low area. I mean, you've been moving down, man, since May of 2025. You've had a bear market that lasted, technically at the low, it lasted nearly a year, which suffices, that's fine. And then with all this on top of it, this consolidation in this area, it's been over a year. I mean, this is pretty typical from a time-based perspective, what you expect to see in the first bear market for any cryptocurrency, for any altcoin. The percentage drop is not what you see, but again, Zebec, even if it were to see new all-time lows, it's still a special project. But man, this is really special if you don't go below these points here. To not even drop 80% on your first bear market, that's unique. It doesn't happen often. And that could signal that there is some serious interest in this thing that's holding up the floor. And again, very, very serious resistance back here that's being found as support. If this double bottom holds, you guys, it's a very powerful floor. What's the market cap for this thing? I mean, if this holds, man, I'm telling you, Zebec might be a shining star in this next crypto bull run. Let's see here. ZBCN, what's your market cap? 186 million. Let's call it 200 million. It's tremendously low, right? A 100x from here would be $20 billion. And $20 billion in the crypto space, it's a fart in the wind. It's a little bit of a louder fart than the average fart, but man, $20 billion, this thing could see, if it were to be implemented, if it were to be the next big thing, the next kind of big project in DeFi, you could see $100 billion or more in market cap, let alone $20 billion. $20 billion gives you over a 100x from here in market cap valuation. $60 billion is a 300x. You get what I'm saying? Like, you could see those valuations come in. Maybe you see half of that, maybe you see a quarter of that, maybe you don't get anywhere close. But I'm just saying, with that in mind, a $20 billion valuation, which is completely attainable, okay? As long as you're making strides, you're making moves, things are going your way, right? That's your end goal, right? Your goal isn't to have these things planned out to be the next big crypto, but to not just plan it, but to actually execute it. If the execution goes well, you have the potential to see 100x or more, and that puts you all the way up at 18 cents, basically 19 cents. So I would even say potentially a 300x is possible, and you could see more, but 20 to 60 billion, I think that's more fair. That's typically, if we're expecting big things from a project, that's kind of where I would go if you've never seen those market caps before, and that's tremendous growth, guys. Nothing above $1, but the fact that you could see something above 50 cents, I mean, you could go above $1. It's possible. If you were to go above $100 billion, but I'm not going to call that from here. That's a bold call to go above $100 billion from a $186 million market cap. That's a very bold call. But just tremendous potential. Again, talking about very tremendous potential here. We look at the all-time high as it is to the low here of this movement. And it's very common for cryptos to go to their 2272 in their secondary bull run. That right there, 2272, it's a lot less than 100x, but that's a 29x. It's a 30x from here. It's very common to wick above there. You can go higher. You go to 13 and 19 cents. This is what I call the money zone, and sometimes we see this in very bullish projects, which, I mean, you're shaping up to be bullish now. that brings up that 100x capability, if not something around 70x or more. And if you do break through that, if we do see higher fibs being reached, higher limits being reached, there's targets that agree with that 43 to 56 cent area as well. This is all predicated on the idea that this is the low and that we don't go lower. If we go lower, these targets change. Okay, the potential changes, all that stuff happens. If you go lower, you're not in trouble. For months, I've been assuming that we'd go lower. So holding support here and then moving up, getting bullish, and then actually, guys, it looks bearish. We're going to go lower. That's not a womp womp. That's false excitement. It's a you know what tease. You know, it's a tease. It's not fun, but it happens. And I was expecting a bounce here. I've been calling for that for the past week or so now, but I wasn't expecting to say what I'm saying now after this bounce, right? And again, it's not because of Zebec moving this way. It's because of Ethereum and Bitcoin and basically the rest of the market as well. It's because the U.S. Treasury announcing that they're going to double their balance sheet. It's because the DXY is tanking. You know, like it's interesting. It's interesting. There's a lot of interesting pieces on the board right now in the game of crypto. We'll see how it goes. I'm reserving my emotions because I don't like getting excited and then getting stomped on. I'd rather be reserved and then be pleasantly surprised. That's much better. But you look good here. And again, all these monikers kind of do line up with an end of bear market dynamic. You've got the double bottom. You've got the bullish engulfing candle. It is bullishly engulfing. You've got 3 days left to add some volume onto this thing and hopefully get some more volume than you had last week to represent this bullish engulfing candle. But you look pretty good, man. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and then the 4 hour time frame. I would have never in my wildest dreams, like a week ago, if you told me, hey man, in a week you're going to say that Zebec's not going below its all-time low anymore and that it's actually bottoming out, I would have been like, you're nuts, man. Get away from me. You're crazy. Selling off and then coming back up. 1 hour RSI, hidden bullish divergence. You look good. You're starting to not look good. Let's just see how you do. If you find resistance here, it's okay. It's okay. What's Bitcoin doing? Do we break through 73K? No. Close, but no. Stochastics, MACD. Cool. 4 hour time frame. Stochastics, MACD, RSI. All bullish, a little bit of bearish divergence, but nothing too extreme. Definitely breaking out. I mean, you're definitely in the midst of a breakout. So let's take all this bull market, end of bear market stuff out of context. Let's take it away and just run with what we have here. Okay. From a high to a low, my expectation was for the past week and still is, even with all this stuff taken into context, the expectation is that we move up to this 382 before you find any kind of significant resistance. Maybe you find resistance here and you go lower. Maybe you find resistance in between, you go lower. Anything can happen. Maybe you don't stop here and you rip through the roof. But statistically speaking, this area is a point of interest. And that'd be at 0022. It's very common to not just hit the 382, but to wick a little bit past it. So 0022, 0023, somewhere in that area. Depending on how you behave, you can also work your way up to the golden ratio. I was not a proponent of this idea at all. But again, now with the context of everything else that's happening in the markets, it actually could make sense that we could see that happen, even by the end of this year. Maybe by the end of September, who knows, depending on how fast you move up. If we're imagining that you're at the end of your cycle, that you are consolidating and ready to rip for the upside, look at how long you moved sideways here before you actually ripped, okay? You're in this downward trend now, and you're in this part of the trend where you're moving sideways. You could move sideways until the end of the year before seeing prices above this high. You could move sideways till the end of the year before getting above 003. In that sideways, you could potentially see lower lows even, or at least higher lows, but something that might even be below where you are now. So just because everything's bullish right now, don't get too excited. Temper your emotions a little bit. It's okay to get excited, but just don't get your expectations up too high because you don't want to get them hurt. You don't want to be emotional with any downside because we're at a very important moment now, guys, where things really might be getting set up and made for the years to come. And you want to behave accordingly in those moments. It's definitely a good time to buy. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't care that you're up 19%. It's a good time to buy. even if it goes lower, it's still a good time to buy. Short of a massive turnaround in Bitcoin and in crypto as a whole, and actually going through and seeing prices below 50K again, which again, I think statistically speaking, is just a lot less likely to happen now. Short of something like that, tremendously terrible happening, I don't really expect to see Zebec to new all-time lows. So any kind of shortcomings, any kind of falling down from here, even if you do see a lower low, I doubt it's going to be significant enough to care. There's nothing wrong with DCAing. You could buy here. You could wait for it to pump, wait for it to dip, buy higher, whatever. Maybe it dips lower, then you get a higher low here, you buy. Maybe none of that happens, then it just rips through the roof, and you're going to be glad that you at least bought some here. Whatever the case may be, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Definitely worth taking a crack at. We were even saying that a week ago that it was good at buying, good to buy there because we think it's going to go up to 0022 or higher. That was a 40% pump from those prices. From the current price, 0022 to 0023, that's about a 20% to potentially a 24% pump. Still good enough, in my opinion, to take a crack at it, to buy. And if we do see that golden ratio zone come into view, that could be a 50% move from here, 60% move from here. So a lot of potential, man. A lot of potential from this point. And the bullish engulfing candle is a very strong reversal implication indicator right there. It's phenomenal. Weekly RSI looking pretty bullish as well. I shouldn't say pretty bullish. Overall, it's actually bearish, but this is a bullish reaction. It's a very bullish reaction. Overall, yes, you're bearish. You got oversold. You rejected the overbought zone, whatever. But that's a very bullish reaction to have. Okay, doesn't mean that you're off to the overbought zone tomorrow, but it's a starting point. Okay, it's a starting point. It's definitely a solid testament of strength in these bearish times. Stochastics coming up looking bullish. You still are in the oversold zone, so that is bearish, but you're coming up. You look pretty good here. MACD starting to wane on its bearish momentum, and you do technically have a low, a higher low, and a higher low, all while having lows, lower lows, lower lows. I don't know if that counts as bullish divergence, but it's all right. It's not bad. Bullish divergence definitely on the oscillators. Looking at the daily time frame, again, just all bullishly charged. There's nothing really else to go off of there. Maybe the 2-week time frame will provide some clues. About to cross, that's bullish on the stochastics. The RSI, good enough, whatever. MACD looks like it has bullish divergence. Yeah, there's, depending on how we behave, it's really easy to be excited right now. It's really easy to just go full gung-ho bullish and say, we're going to new all-time highs, the low is in. If you didn't buy, that sucks for you. We're going to the moon. It's easy to be like that, and it just might be like that with some variances in between. But temper your emotions. Stay calm. Try to stay level-headed. Enjoy the ride as it happens. And if it doesn't go the way that we're hoping for, if things take a turn and it gets worse, have some dry powder on the side to buy the bag. Keep yourself in an emotionally sound state so you don't make the improper decisions. You don't make the wrong decisions. But as of right now, guys, with everything that's going on, I'm willing to put my name in the hat for saying that Zebec has found its bear market low. I mean, it looks... If I was looking at a stock and this wasn't crypto and I didn't know the name of the stock, it was just a random thing, I would say you're at a very significant macro low point. You look like you're finding support at prior resistance. Low to high, right in the golden ratio. Double bottom. I mean, the only thing I have an issue with is the volume. That's it. At the same time, though, it's not necessarily a requirement here. You really only technically need volume once you get above this high. It would be nice to see some volume come in, but when you're in these sideways boring times, sometimes you end without any volume. It does happen. So it's not that necessary. It would just compel me a little bit more, but whatever, man. Maybe it's just not on Bybit, right? Let's see. ZBCN. USDT. Is it on Binance? Not on Binance. USD. Is it on, where would all the volume be if not Bybit? Where would it be? Would it be on KuCoin? That wouldn't make sense, but maybe. Nope. I don't know where all the volume is. Look, we had all this volume and it just died off. I don't know where it went. Anyways, guys, I got nothing else. Congratulations to the Zebecians. Things are looking good. But again, let's wait. Okay? Let's be patient. Let's let things develop. I have a feeling that it'll take a little bit of time before we're really adamantly, or at least before I'm very adamantly saying that we're in a bull market or that the bear market's over. it'll at least be, it depends on how things go, but probably a couple weeks, if not a month or so, before I'm willing to say that officially. But things are looking good. Things are looking really good right now. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye bye.